All right, we are recording. Sorry, I thought my television just said something. Um, yeah. So chapter 9 of this. So this is they find the Qui-Gon, Padme, R2, and Jar Jar find Watto's shop. Try to talk with him unsuccessfully. Come out. Jar Jar gets in trouble with Sebulba. Anakin rescues them. Anakin's then being nice. Sandstorm comes up. So they'll have to stay with him, and then briefly back at the ship. It's talked about how this is when the governor's message comes in, trying to get them to respond, which would reveal their location. Um, yeah. Anyway, so let's go through. I only have 4 notes, so some of them might trigger a rant. We'll see. So we got the whole Qui-Gon tries to mind trick Watto to accept the Republic credits, which I have a little bit of a problem with here because of having read Return of the Jedi so recently. Excuse me. Where not only Jabba explains the Jedi mind trick to Luke. Luke is inexperienced. It makes sense. He doesn't fully understand that it doesn't work on those of strong minds, strong wills, and that some species are just completely resilient to it because the minds operate so differently. Jabba specifically says that a Hutt mind is so different from a human mind. Luke could never hope to mind trick him, no matter how powerful no matter how great the difference in mental strength is between them. It's just so radically different. Qui-Gon is a Jedi Master. He's also older. He'd have some knowledge of this, you'd think. It's like Luke not knowing it, that's fine. He's a kid. Qui-Gon should know, so the whole, no, Republic credits won't do. It's like, yes, they will. It's like, why would he try again? Aside from you just making the joke about it. But it's also, because there's also a little bit of the whole, I get how it's kind of funny where Watto's then like, what do you think you are, a Jedi? It's like, why wouldn't he think that? And it's like, the dude just tried to do this twice. Why wouldn't he be like, you're a Jedi? What are you doing here? What's going on? It's like, this is really stupid on Qui-Gon's part. He shouldn't be going like, and it describes it as being in his face. It's like, why would you do that? It's like, try to keep it subtle. If you got to do the hand gesture, I'm not sure if you really should need to do the hand gesture. That seems like unnecessary, but something small, just the whole, like, down low, just, it's like, that didn't work. Why didn't it work? It should then have tripped and been like, because he does recognize Watto's a Toydarian. Should have been like, that's right, doesn't work on them. Yeah, but there's also the whole, it's never explained why Watto won't take the credits. Which is kind of a problem, because why wouldn't he? If you want to be like, well, he wants like a hard currency the credits aren't. It's like, okay, Mos Espa is a spaceport, though. There has to be a means of exchanging. Even if this is the Outer Rim, they're still going to be getting people from the Republic that have credits. If anything, the Hutts should love this. Because it's like, yeah, well, no one here really takes it because the Republic isn't all that present, so yeah, we'll exchange it at a rate of 2-to-1. So so Qui-Gon's like, yeah, I can pay 20,000 credits. Okay, we'll exchange it to his 10,000. It's like, that's what should be happening there. That's what makes sense. So Watto just refusing is, no, he'd be like, I don't take those. There's a bank down there. They'll take care of you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, that is actually what is reasonable to happen here, but no, we can't have that. Oh, yeah, that's right. There's also, let me see if I can find it. I'll just read it. I don't necessarily need to, but as they leave, Watto makes a comment, Outlanders, they think because we live so far from everything we know nothing. I don't know why he has that comment. It's like, the only thing that would prompt that would be the whole, they're trying to pay him with credits. And it's like, okay, well, what is Watto saying that he knows that they clearly don't know? Like, is Watto like, well, it's fine, they're credits, it's potentially a fiat currency, but it still is the whole, like, it's still money. What is this? Is it like, think that they don't know that Do they think that we don't realize that it's a fiat currency? And that's even hypothetical. We don't know. It could be backed by something. But it's like, I mean, it's like, what is it? And it's also not it just doesn't make sense. And there's also the whole, going back to they should be able to exchange it. It's very reasonable that in a galaxy of planets, you're still gonna have local currencies, and you will be trading them there. So yes, there would be a bank somewhere that they should be able to go to and change this everywhere, just because of the convenience of it. Like, you don't want a world to be like, yeah, Republic. No one from the Republic can ever come here because our economy will never work there. I mean, that's not only cutting them off from visiting you, that's also cutting you off from doing any business with them. And the Hutts are going to want to do business. Another thing. Let me just see if I can find this, because I would actually kind of like to read this line out to just kind of heighten the point, make sharper the point that Qui-Gon's an idiot here. Okay. A bit earlier. Yep. I need parts for a J-type 327 Nubian. He just states this. The ship that just blasted out of Naboo, that technically should not be far away from Tatooine. Just, like, yeah, that's totally the ship. He's just going to announce this. He's not going to say, oh, this is the part that I need. He's going to say, no, this is the ship that I have. So, not that we have any reason to believe that Watto is going to turn them in, but it's also, all it would take would be the Trade Federation or somebody representing them, basically just putting a bounty on information for all J-type Nubians, 327 Nubians, whatever the name of it was. And now somebody just needs to overhear that. And guess what? Hey, Sidious, guess where they are? It's like he's trying to keep them protected, trying to keep it secret that they're there. And it's like, yeah, we're on this ship. And I don't care that Watto says. And this is in part because of the movie. What earlier? It's another page. Okay. Yes, Nubian. We have lots of that. Which, to be fair, he might be referring to just Nubian as like the company. So it's like, yes, we have a lot of parts for Nubians in general. It could also be he's just saying that because, oh yeah, I can totally, we got nothing for you, but the stuff here that'll work and I want to make money off you. Could also be that. But it's, sorry, my brain just turned, I know I was trying to make a point there. That's right, with the ship. Is that it's kind of a fancy looking ship in the movie. So it's like, I don't think Tatooine would actually have many of that specific model there. Like, you mentioned that it might be that thing's like a prestigious ship. There's not many of those. Hey, I heard a rumor that the one carrying the Queen of Naboo just happened to break a blockade the other day. Oh. I mean, it's like, this is really dumb. He shouldn't be saying this. It would just be I have a ship, have a Nubian ship, the hyperdrive failed. And I need a new one. Or just, because he does identify it later. It's like a T14 hyperdrive, something like that. I don't quite remember. But it still is, yes. And no one else has, this is Watto saying it, and no one else has a T14 hyperdrive generator, I can promise you that. So it's like, you gotta come to me. But it's like, that's all Qui-Gon needed to say he needed. Which it's like, for one, that's going to be better for two reasons. One is the whole, now no one has the information about this specific ship. Because many ships may use that same hyperdrive generator. It's a part. The other is him coming in and basically being this is what I need. That should engender some respect for him from Watto, as opposed to, yeah, I have this ship, I need some parts for it. What do you have? I mean, it's like, that's okay, I'm going to take this guy. All right, not I'm coming in, I'm looking for this part. All right, I mean, come in with that, so it's like you're serious there. That would probably help his cover, but no. Let's just be stupid. Okay. And last bit. So he radios back. Qui-Gon radios back to Obi-Wan, advises him of the situation with the whole yeah, we can't get it, but Qui-Gon does make the comment about how, don't worry, a solution will present itself. That line makes a lot more sense in the book than in the movie. Because in the book, we already had much earlier on, especially when Obi-Wan is explaining why Qui-Gon would even take on Jar Jar, that he, and I even did kind of describe this earlier as well, when I even used these words when describing those moments in the book, that Qui-Gon has like great faith in the Force, and it is basically, if Jar Jar has crossed our path on this journey, he's a part of the journey. We should take him with us. It's like he does have that faith there. So it's like, okay, that didn't work. Something must happen here. Something must turn up because this journey isn't over yet. That, like that alone would be enough for him to relax. Which also, going back a bit, and that was the final note that I have, to the previous chapter when I was talking about, and I've talked about it in other videos as well, that the Queen should have some kind of stress and have some sort of break because of how I kept doing this, that her ability to control and reverse this failure that is happening to her is whittling down. She having that break with Qui-Gon would make a lot of sense here, because he has that kind, because she could see him and be like, how do you manage that? How are you never concerned about this? And it's like, that could be the moment where she is stressed, but she's still in control of it. It hasn't broken her yet. And so she starts engaging with him in a conversation. And just like, you could navigate it down a little deeper, a little deeper, a little deeper to get it clear, to make it clear that she is on the edge. She is close to breaking on this. And the conversation with him and how he has this faith where it's like, no, it'll work out. I don't necessarily know how. It doesn't mean I'm not frustrated, but I know it's going to work out. That could be a way for her to gain greater control of it, where maybe she won't break, or if she does, it would be a lot less. So it's like, it is such an opportunity there, because basically that is something she would need for how the stress on her. But I know in the movie I don't recall anything in the movie for that. We'll see. Maybe it'll come up in the book, but it is just one of those, if it isn't there, then it's like, not only do you have a lost opportunity as far as her own character development, but it's also, you have a solution set up for her, where it doesn't even have to be like she breaks down crying or anything. It can just be she becomes desperate for this conversation with him, essentially, and going through that, and just the conversation going on for a long time. Like, even if it were back on the ship, Obi-Wan coming to the quarters or wherever it is that they are, and like senses from Qui-Gon that he's not to disturb them. That even though it's like, this is important, but it's like somehow getting a sense from Qui-Gon, no, this is actually important. I need to leave this alone and give them their time. You could do something like that there, but then they don't. So yeah. Well, I'm assuming they don't. I don't think they do. I can't remember the last time I read it, and I'm quite certain it wasn't ever in the movie. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah. I mean, really, the main takeaway for me with this chapter is just Qui-Gon's stupid in this chapter, at least. That it's like, hey, everybody, I have this ship. Isn't that the one that just broke out in Naboo? No. And the funny thing is, I am trying to remember, how did Maul find them? Because in theory, it is. So it has something to do with the transmission, but I don't remember exactly what. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Because it'll probably be in the next chapter. Oh wait, no, because it has to be much later. So next chapter should really just be the within the Skywalker home. Oh, we do get in here, by the way. I almost forgot. I didn't make a note of it. That his mother and he were slaves to this one Hutt, who then lost them in some sort of betting game with Watto. And he thinks that was around when he was 3 years old, so 5 years prior. 5 years? Yes, because he's 8, he's going to be turning 9. That's how chapter 1 ended, isn't it? No, he is 9, he's going to be 10. Okay, so it's still 6 years prior. Which I'll be honest, I'm a little curious about some more information there. Like, how is she a slave? And also, you'd think a slave owner would wonder about, I mean, it'll be in the next chapter, the whole, there's no father. It's like, you'd think a slave owner would be like, um, that's not how that works, woman. You need to tell me what's going on here. And really press on. I mean, it's, yeah. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it is possible that that's one of those things where Lucas had the idea and liked the idea for that and just decided to go with it, even though it is a contrivance. Which, on the one hand, I hate contrivances. I try to avoid them in my stories, but at the same time, sometimes, no, that's exactly what you got to use, because that's the way to achieve what it is you're going for. So it's, I guess a way to put it is, it's one of those things where, yes, it can be criticized. It is fair to criticize it. But you gotta just be like, if somebody criticizes the main contrivance I got in Children of Many Gifts, because that's one that most stands out as a, yes, there's a contrivance, and a fairly large one in a way. I tried to explain it, but it is a contrivance. That if somebody criticizes me on that, it's like, yeah, I know. I mean, it's like, it's what I wanted in the story. It's what I built up. I kind of have an explanation for it in there. I'll grant it's not great, but it is critical to the story. So, it's superior fantasy. I'm just leaning on that. Leaning on it being the fantasy portion. So, yeah. So it can be worthy of contrivances. Even necessary ones are worthy of criticism. But for that stuff, it's like, I have to just accept it, move on. Now criticize me on the other stuff so I can get better, because, okay. Where's the maskers? There's maskers. Okay. See you next time for chapter 10, which I do just want to add. There's 24 chapters. So we still have a decent amount, even though I feel like mentally there shouldn't be that much left. It's like, I feel like we're halfway through the movie already. But we have, I mean, we're only going to be starting chapter 10, so we're not even halfway through the book. And we are actually kind of close as far as length goes. So this is what I have left to read for Phantom Menace, and that's how much I have read. Yeah, some of these chapters do not seem like they're necessarily all that long, but we'll see. We'll see. Some of them definitely don't seem to contain much story progression, but they have a lot of description there, which I'm not going to complain about. Some of that is very good. I've read better at that, but this is still good. But there are better examples of that out there. All right. Now, see you next time.